Hello and welcome to the Doctors Who podcast. My name is Chris.
I'm Chip.
My name is Brian.
And today is somewhat of a momentous day because this is going to be the second to the last episode where we discuss The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss.
So sad.
Part 9 of our series on
It
The Name of
is.
the Wind.
So, we're going to finish up with part 10 in a week. And I guess it's a nice even number, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's been a pretty fun time. This has really been our first foray into literature, and I think it's gone pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah. And we do want to thank everybody that has been tuning in and checking us out. It is kind of fun to check the analytics and see the spikes and the increase on the subscribers. So before we get into it, I'm just going to take a moment to say if you have been listening or watching, you like what you hear, you like what you see, please click that subscribe button because if you do that, as we post new content, you will be notified, and that way you can provide some quality control and let us know if we're screwing around too much. Especially Brian. We have to keep a short leash on him. So
Can't help it.
yeah. Anyway, which chapters are we covering?
Chapters 84 through 88.
Perfect. And we've broken these out into two main sections.
Yeah, so there's kind of two story arcs here. One is kind of when he goes back on the horns again, and then the other is kind of the next interlude back in the Waystone Inn.
Yeah.
There's some major events happening.
Yeah. Well, why don't we jump right into On the Horns again? Is that like On the Road again?
That's kind of
On
what
the
I was
horns
thinking.
again.
Yeah, nice.
And
Very well done.
technically he is on the horns again.
Right.
He's been there once before.
Yes. I mean, it's...
So once before? Just once.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was just once.
I don't remember.
Anyway, so
Somebody can correct us if we're wrong.
he's back from Traben.
Yeah, so when he killed the Dracus, lost the girl, didn't get the treasure.
Lauded as a hero.
Right.
But he had to come back, apologize to everyone.
Yeah, because he
including Will and
basically
Sam, because he
disappeared for a week.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's settling back in. He's back in his routine, and he actually, by chance, happens across Denna.
Yep, he goes back over to Imre. I assume, I can't remember if it's at the Aeolian.
Mhm.
It's somewhere in Imre.
Yeah,
He runs
but-
into her, and she's with another dude, but it's
Which
not her
is
patron. But
Pretty typical, I think.
yeah, and
Yeah.
occasionally she's got a companion of some sort with her.
Mhm.
But she seems genuinely happy to see him.
Well, and it almost feels like the experience they had in Traben has almost changed the dynamic a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not like acting the same. He's confident.
Yep.
He's outgoing. He's out to just like, it's like, hey, you might have her right now, but you're never going to be where
You're
I'm.
never going to have what I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's kind of riding that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some simmering jealousy down under the surface, but
Yeah.
I think he's realized that she goes through men like
Mm-hmm.
most people. I don't know. There's probably an analogy there that's
I'm sure there is.
pertinent that I don't have right now, but he's got this deeper relationship with her that none of
Mhm.
these other guys that she's carrying around on her arm are gonna have.
Yeah.
And it kind of tells about how they try to one up each other, like he
Oh, yeah.
he smiles and he's always gracious, and the other guy always offers to buy him a drink, and so then he offers to buy the other guy a drink.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
and yeah.
But yeah, he definitely has claimed Denna as his own because he's at one point in that same passage, he looks directly at the guy she's with and was like, whatever he's thinking, he knows that Kvothe is in her memory, that
Mhm.
she's
Yeah.
always thinking of him and will always have that special place for him,
Yep.
and so
Yep.
he's just like content with
Yeah.
kind of letting things be.
Right.
Yep.
Which is a change.
It's
Yeah.
very different.
Yeah.
So they catch up a little bit.
Mhm.
He kind of catches her up on what happened in Traben after she basically passed out.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, basically, I killed a dragon, but I lost the girl and I lost the treasure.
And I think he frames it as a story that he's
Yeah,
telling. Right?
that's it.
So,
And then she says something about
Yeah.
not the ending she'd hoped for, but not
Right.
more than I expected.
yeah.
And then he says something about possibility of a sequel, and she said, I don't generally go for serial stories.
Yeah, well, it's like, okay.
Well,
So
she's gonna get one.
anyway, yeah.
we're lucky.
If we're lucky,
Two.
two, yeah.
Yeah, there should be one more coming.
But from there, we kind of seg into him meeting with Will and Sim,
Mhm.
and they're just hanging out and chatting. And he's got his lute, and he's got the case open so the sun can so his lute
Warm
can
the
get
strings,
sun.
isn't it?
Yes,
Mm.
that's what he says.
Mhm.
So, it's funny to me how he treats the lute as like a living thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But they're talking, and he looks back, and the lute is gone because our favorite person has come around.
Oh.
Yeah. Didn't you say you want to hit things when you
Every
read
single
about him?
time
Yeah.
I come across his name, it's like, why? He's just such
Um,
a not likable character.
Yeah, he is.
Know if you have anything, if I have anything nearby that you can hit. I mean, you could hit this.
Yeah,
I don't want to break my knuckles, though.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Okay.
Yeah, so Ambrose took his loot and he's threatening to break it and taunting Kvothe, and I can't remember.
And he decides to sing a song about him.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
And which is funny because this is the exact same thing that Kvothe did to him,
Yep.
and then Kvothe got punished for it.
Right.
Right.
So
So
Ambrose
actually, he was on the horns 2 times
Mhm.
before.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
one
Oh, yeah,
was
you're
for
right.
his sister, the situation
right.
with
That's
Hemi,
right, it
and
was
then the
too.
other one was for the
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Jackass, Jackass.
Yeah.
So aptly named.
Yeah.
But he talks about how his mind kind of breaks into 2 parts at
Yeah,
this
so
point.
he's like chanting, I hate you, with one part of his mind, and
The other is pleading, like, please don't hurt the lute.
Yeah.
Please, please, please.
which I think is a callback to his time in Tarbine when
Mm-hmm.
he
When his
was
father's
the
lute was
lute was
broken.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so he says something along the lines of, give me the lute back or I'm going to kill you. And I mean, like, the conviction and the dedication he says it with actually, like, causes Ambrose
Yeah,
pause.
and
Uh-huh.
I kind of read it as, he's not yelling, he's not screaming, he's just
It's
very,
like, it's very soft.
focused and
Yeah.
just a total threat.
Yeah.
I'm really going to do this if
Yeah.
you don't give that
Yep.
back. And
Right.
Ambrose hears him.
Yeah. Yeah. He tosses it
Yeah.
and it breaks when it hits the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And something happens that I did not see coming.
We've been waiting for this moment for so long that I
Mhm.
didn't
So-
even picture it happening.
Well,
here.
so here we are. This is my second time reading through, and getting to this point, I wonder if I never actually finished the first time through,
Oh, really?
because I have zero recollection of this.
Oh, really?
You would think if I had read this before, I would be like, oh yeah, it's the part where he actually,
creates the book title.
spoilers, he names the wind.
You read this far, right?
I did.
Okay.
Hey, come on now.
So it's just kind of interesting to
I know
be
you
hit
did.
with that realization that, oh crap, maybe I never actually finished this book.
Or maybe, like both, you didn't remember
That could be.
calling
Oh,
the name
yeah.
of the wind.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Maybe you were able to split your mind into 2 parts.
could
that could be.
Anyway.
So basically, he calls the name of the wind. The wind basically hurls Ambrose backwards,
Yeah.
and I think it causes everyone else to be like pushed back as
Yeah.
well. And
Didn't you find it good?
I did. I found this great
Oh, nice.
piece of art.
That is good.
It's entitled "The Name of the Wind" by Julia Maddelina. Now, here's the thing. I found it on her web. Well, I found it in Google Image Search.
Okay.
Sure.
And I opened up the image, and then I was doing some research on the website. So I think she like painted like a series of the Name of the Wind pictures, art paintings for her thesis, and this
Oh, really?
is one of them.
Huh.
She was selling them.
Yeah.
So, Julia, I don't know if it's in bad form that I use this because you're selling them. So if you're ever watching this and you're like, holy crap, those dudes totally ripped off my stuff, it was unintentional. You can send us an email at tdwpodcast@gmail.com and we'll take care of it. Anyway, I think we're now legally covered, right?
Sure.
Right. And I was telling us that we needed to stop going down rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Sorry. So this act, like of him naming the wind, affects him.
almost kind of enters like this catatonic state where he's just not responding to anything. He's
Yeah.
numb.
I mean, like,
and
he can move, like,
Yeah.
he can get up and he can walk and he can be led places, but
Mhm.
he's just like, he's not there.
Right.
And I think they...
Will and Sim take him to Master Kilvin.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Where they
yes.
go right away
yes.
to tell him. They explain kind of what happened. And then I don't know if Kilvin somehow gets word to Eladin.
I would
But
assume...
Eladin shows up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he manages to basically fix him.
Yeah, he kind of pulls him out of this trance-like state.
Yeah.
But then what he does, I remember Kvothe is very dizzy and just disoriented, and
Mm-hmm.
it takes him a while to recover.
I think he compared it to like kids when they like spin around
Yeah.
and around
Oh,
and around.
and
yeah,
and
yeah.
you can see
and
like
everything's still kind of
Yeah.
spinning. And,
Yeah.
yeah. But then by the time he kind of comes to or settles down, Eladin's gone.
Right.
And,
Right.
Um,
But this was pretty. This was again. I think that, and this is a very intentional piece by Patrick Rothfuss, and then
Mhm.
it plays into what happens later on. But
well, it's the whole, he breaks his mind into pieces, and
Mhm.
Right.
he doesn't remember doing
Right.
things, and then it kind of has the callback to as Kote, the innkeeper,
yeah,
is he in a similar state where his mind is
Mhm.
broken into pieces and
Mhm.
he doesn't remember or is
Yeah.
unable to do certain things, which actually comes into play
right.
in the very next chapter.
Yeah. But he basically sleeps for 18 hours after this.
Mhm.
Yeah. And he said he there was a quote, or he said something about being behind the doors of sleep.
That's right.
So again, it's kind of that whole compartmentalization of his mind and
Yeah.
closing things off and allowing things to heal. And
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
the last time he'd mentioned something like that was when his troop was killed.
Yeah. So he's basically cleaning himself up when he's once again summoned to the horns.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, at this point, they maybe should just get him like a bunk.
Yeah,
like
or
in
have his own
room
chair.
in there,
Or,
yeah.
Or yeah, an honorary chair,
yeah.
Kvothe's chair.
Yeah. Or name it, name the horns after Kvothe.
There you
Mhm.
go. So Ambrose has.
Because what's he been there like?
This is
not
like
even, it's
third
less than
time?
a year, so he's been there three
Oh, yeah,
times.
yeah.
and-
That might be
in
a record.
2 or 3
I don't
terms.
know. Ambrose has accused him of malfeasance.
Yep. But this time, Kvothe has counter-accused him.
Right. What?
Thievery and destruction of possession, or
The property.
Destruction of property.
That's what it was.
And
Yeah.
conduct unbecoming
That's
a member
right.
of the Arcanum.
Yes, that was a big deal.
Yes. And it's kind of interesting because Hemi is obviously against
He's
this, and
obviously,
he's like no, but Kvothe is like in control, and he's able to like counter him
Mhm.
with like rational logic,
Yeah.
and so Kvothe wins on theft and destruction of property, but not on conduct unbecoming.
And I think he very nearly won, but the
Yeah.
vote was...
Yeah.
But it should be noted that he was actually able to not only recoup the cost of the loot, but he was able to get like
Yeah.
5 extra, 6 extra
Yeah.
talents off it, in which he was able to later buy
Yeah.
more things that he needed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think
it
he
was
ended up
some
with like 20 talents.
yeah, it was something
crazy.
ridiculous. Yeah.
'Cause I think he
Um,
like overvalued the loot, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
but they
But they didn't know.
went for it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But he doesn't get away scot-free because he ends up being guilty of malfeasance, sentenced to 6 lashes, and being expelled.
And it was unanimous.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
So all the masters, except Hemi, vote to expend Kvothe's expulsion.
They suspended, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, suspend his expulsion. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
but is this-
remember who called for that.
I think
It was the
Eladin, or
it was the chief the I was gonna say chancellor,
Oh.
but I'm blanking on his name.
Oh.
yeah,
Because
I
he
can't
had
remember.
that sorry look on his face as he
Mhm.
called it to a vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name either. Now.
So
Anyway.
he's not
Yeah.
immediately expelled, and Elodin proposes that Kvothe be promoted to Raylar.
Yep.
And
What a
we
twist.
find out a little bit later why that is.
Yeah.
So
And then is this where Master Eladin basically takes him on as a student or
Right.
apprentice of
Yes.
sorts. Or
Yes. So Illidan talks to Kvothe because Kvothe really doesn't understand what he did.
no.
He has like secondhand knowledge of what people told him he did, but he has no memory of this.
Right.
And so Illidan talks about the waking mind versus the sleeping mind, and it's the sleeping mind that knows the name of things,
Yep.
right?
And it's where he said that most namers, the first time they name something is in some sort of emotional state, and they don't remember it.
Mhm.
It's an unconscious thing.
So,
That was.
and he explains to Kvothe that there was never a danger that he would be truly expelled.
Yeah.
But that entire chapter is very well written.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get lashed, but
Yeah.
he got
So he's
promoted.
6 lashes coming.
He got
Mhm.
a buttload of coin.
Yep.
Yep.
And
He almost ended up better. He ended up better off
Yeah.
after this than he was before.
Yeah.
And it still cracks me up that the lashes don't bother him in the least.
No.
He's like,
Right.
oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Whereas me, I'd be like, no, dude, this back is pretty. So,
Kind of.
yeah, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway.
So then there's kind of a weird transition from here to... There's an interlude now where we're back at the end. So the next chapter doesn't go to the whipping post. This one, we're
No.
back in the inn. And they hear some footsteps at the door. So
Yeah, I mean, like he hits like a natural breaking point, and I
Yeah.
think he's like
Mhm.
going to get some food or some drink or something.
Yeah.
But there's people coming in for dinner, and it's
Yeah.
that time of the
Yeah.
day, and so
Yeah.
they
Like the regulars are there.
Yeah.
right, so
Yep.
they need to kind of quickly scramble to get drinks ready, and I think Bast and Chronicler pretend like they're writing up Bast's will or something of that sort,
Yeah.
just
to explain why Chronicler's there.
exactly, and why he's got all his papers out,
Yep.
and things like that. So
And like Bast's delivery.
Yeah.
yeah,
And I leave this. Like I can hear it in
Yeah.
my mind, and it just cracked me up. So yeah.
what the audiobook sound like when they did that? Was it? Did you listen to that?
I think I read that
I'm-
part.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I went
think
back
I
and
did
forth.
too.
Okay.
Yeah. So it would be worth going
It'd be
back
kind of
Yes, it
funny
would.
to hear.
Yes, it
because seriously, like the guy that reads the audiobook is
Really good.
Yeah.
But there's something wrong with what's going on here. So the regulars are all in there, and all of a sudden they get someone who looks like a off-duty merc
Well, don't
coming
they
through.
hear something at the door
Yeah.
first, and then
Like slow steps and like,
yeah,
scuffing and things like that, and
Right.
kind of like the door opens and he's just kind of like standing there.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So, yeah.
But he walks in and he kind of looks around. He sees what's going on, and he kind of takes his place within the bar. But trouble's brewing. Like something doesn't seem right.
And Chronicler recognizes him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the guy that robbed him at the beginning
Yeah,
of the
one
book.
of the mercenaries.
Yeah.
Because he's wearing Chronicler's
Shirt.
shirt,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Yep.
The
But
shirt that Chronicler says he never had a chance to wear. It was a
Mhm.
VA shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to Brian's point, like this guy is not like talking or engaging or
Mhm.
acting normal. He almost acts like a zombie, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And at this point, I think like Bast is trying to get Kvothe's attention.
He's trying to fight him
like,
down. That
he's
Bast
like, "So
sees him for what he is, or that
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
something off here,
Yeah.
and he's trying to get Kvothe's attention,
Right.
but Kvothe doesn't notice it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I can't remember how the scuffle breaks out. Did Kvothe initiate it?
No, I think Chronicler did.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, because he was pretty.
He was trying.
insistent.
He confronted
Wasn't he
him
going back
because
about
he's
the
like-
shirt?
he's like,
and
hey,
he went-
you're the guy that.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. But like this guy, like he comes at Chronicler,
Mm-hmm.
and like basically pandemonium breaks loose. He's apparently quite strong.
Like inhumanly strong.
Right.
Mhm.
And the interesting thing that I found here was in the scuffle, like a couple of the regulars got like knocked down.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
In the scuffle, Kvothe chucks a bottle of alcohol at this guy.
Elderberry wine.
And tries to use sympathy to light a fire, but he's unable to do so. And
the Chronicler watches that.
Right.
And sees
Chronicler
that happen.
sees
that.
But nobody else realizes what Kvothe is trying to do.
Right.
You know.
So, and then this goes back to Chip, what you keep saying about the separation of the mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is this because he's kind of separated his old self away from this part he's playing, and so he's not able to access
or something broken somewhere in
Right.
there that, you know, that's,
So that was very interesting to me. But
it's the Smith's apprentice that
right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
because he's carrying some
He's
sort of
got
an
like
iron
that
rod.
and he's carried that around ever since the Skraelings
Right.
at the beginning.
Yep.
So he basically bludgeons this thing until it's
and like I just kind of imagine he's just getting like the merc is getting whacked, and then he's just like still somehow able to keep crawling,
he's like
even
the
though
Terminator or something.
yeah, just super creepy. Like this is not a normal dude.
Yeah. Bless you.
So he's dead. I mean they've
Well, then the
yes.
melee, the Shep gets killed.
right.
that's
Shep's
right.
killed.
That's right.
And the rest of them
Well,
are,
yeah.
I think, like shook up, and they need something to fall back on. So they're all convinced that this is just a Denner addict.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the apprentice, who thinks it's a demon.
Mm-hmm.
Bast has a name for the thing.
Oh boy, good
Like,
luck pronouncing
yeah.
it.
Yeah, skin dancer, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what it translates to. It's Mahalaret. I don't know.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chronicler was wounded in the attack,
Yep. So
he gets.
they kind of clean up.
Bast
the
cleans him
mess,
up
they
and puts a
put a
salve on it.
and kind of clean up where
They
the guy was
talk
killed.
to they talk to the apprentice as well,
Yeah.
and because he's like, no, I think it was a demon, and Kvothe's like, you're right, it was. Kvothe, knowing it wasn't, but he's like, you
It's
know,
better
he's
just
like,
to let
you know
him
what?
believe it.
Yep.
And
He's somebody that's
he seems a little sharper than the rest of the townsfolk.
Oh yeah.
And he knows the Denner explanation is not going to fly with this kid, so
Yep.
this guy needs something to get him to just go away so they can talk about stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this one really kind of ends with Kvothe. You know, once it's back to just the three, Bast, Kvothe, and Chronicler.
Yeah.
Kvothe says, "Okay, we got a little time left for tonight. I've got a few pieces of the story that we'll tie up, and we'll finish up next week."
Yeah.
Oh. Oh man. All right. Next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for now, you just have to sit tight, Brian.
I suppose.
Right? I know. So next time, in 1 week, we will be coming to you with episode 10 of Patrick Rothfuss's The Name of the Wind. This is going to be our final episode where we're directly discussing it. I haven't actually talked to you guys about this yet, but I'm wondering after we get through this 10th episode, if we have one where we just kind of give our overall thoughts of the book in general.
Sure.
And we talk about things we really like, things we didn't like, maybe potentially where we see the next one going.
Mm-hmm.
We could even
talk
talk about
into the movie that they're
the
gonna
movie,
make
yeah,
out of
yeah.
the prequel series. That
So
they're talking
that
about
might
doing,
be
so
that might be something to consider.
Cool.
I like that. We should do that.
All right,
Let's do that.
sweet.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, thanks for watching. If you want to know more about us, you can go to www.tardiscast.com. You can also find us on social media at TDW Podcast. That's on Instagram and Twitter. I believe Facebook is facebook.com/TDW Podcast.
Sounds right.
And lastly, if you've enjoyed listening to us ramble for the last 20 minutes, click the subscribe button below Captain America's shield, and you'll get notified whenever we post new content. Yeah, trust me, it's there.
Okay.
I mean, technically, it might be below my whiskey glass, like down here somewhere.
Nice.
But yeah,
There.
it's down there.
Cool.
All right. We will see you in a week. Thank you for joining us, and have a great day.
Allons-y.